Doctor Sleep rated 16. Okay. So Doctor Sleep is a sequel to the most iconic horror movie ever made from 40 years ago now, The Shining. In 2011, a little over 30 years after the horrific traumatic events that unfolded in the hotel in The Shining movie, Danny Torrance, who was the young boy in The Shining movie, is now all grown up, played by Ewan McGregor, still traumatized by those events and has become extremely reckless, using drink and drugs to numb his psychological pain. But with the help of a friend, Danny gets his life back together, and 8 years later, in 2019, Danny is now in stable and sound mind. Outside of that, Danny now becomes aware of a young girl, Abra, played by Kaylee Curran, who also has the magical gift that he calls the Shining, but her powers are so much more stronger than Danny's. Danny, reluctantly at first, then goes on a mission to protect and help Abra from horrific serious dangers that she seems to be totally oblivious to. Okay, so as I said, The Shining is the most iconic horror movie ever made from 1980, best part of 40 years ago now. And to make a sequel to The Shining, which is considered a masterpiece and has such a cult following, takes some balls to say the least. Because no matter how good the sequel is going to be, it's leaving itself open to such huge criticism. Now, the best way to describe this movie is not so much as a sequel to The Shining, but more of a salute and a nod to The Shining, and it doesn't try to pretend to be anything else other than that salute and Easter egg nod to the original Shining, combined with whatever happened to Danny the young boy in The Shining, incredible, utterly amazing character development of Danny when we see him again in 2011, 30 years after The Shining, and catch up with him again in 2019, 40 years after The Shining. The attention to detail in the character development of Danny is just mind-blowing, and it's one of the best, most astonishing character developments I've ever seen, to be honest. And Ewan McGregor is just off the Richter scale, outstanding, easily delivering the performance of his career. Ewan McGregor totally carries the entire weight of this movie on his shoulders, and he is just astonishing, to be honest. I did not think that Ewan McGregor had it in him to deliver such an Oscar-worthy performance as this, and that Danny Torrance blistering brilliant character development, along with the amazing Easter eggs and throwbacks to the original Shining, are the best qualities that this movie has going for it. There is one major throwback to The Shining that happens very late in the movie, and again, it took guts and major balls to actually go there full blast. Now, I had no idea that Mike Flanagan directed this until the end credits. Mike Flanagan first came to my attention in 2013 when I saw a $5 million low-budget horror movie, Oculus, about a mirror with evil powers, and I was just blown away by that movie. So whenever Mike Flanagan, director, would pop up, I was always curious about his work. This Shining sequel is more like a TV series spin-off, to be honest. It's made in a TV series template, and the whole story surrounding the Rebecca Ferguson character and her entourage is a plagiaristic story we've seen several times before, and anyone who knows their movies will know what other movies I'm referring to here. Now, a major problem I had with this movie, for me at least, is Rebecca Ferguson. Rebecca Ferguson is a credible actress, but she is totally miscast in this movie. It's the worst miscast since casting Chloe Grace Moretz as Carrie into the 2013 Carrie remake. Without going into major spoilers, the Rebecca Ferguson character, Rose the Hat, needed ferocious bitchy qualities, and Rebecca Ferguson, as credible actress as she is, was just totally useless playing the part of a bitch. Rose the Hat character needed to ooze bitchiness, and I just feel that had they casted Eva Green instead, it would have made such a huge, gigantic difference. No one can play a ferocious, vicious bitch as good as Eva Green. Her credentials as a bitch in such movies as 300, Rise of an Emperor, and Sin City 2. Us, the viewers, needed to really hate Rose the Hat character, and Rebecca Ferguson's performance, minus those essential bitchy qualities, just falls flat. Another miscast problem I had with this movie was the young girl Abra, played by Kaylee Curran. Now, again, Kaylee Curran does an exceptional job here, but I felt that it would have been better had they made the Abra character more vulnerable, body language-wise at least. Kaylee Curran as Abra is just too superhero-esque and just too confident. Us, the viewers, know that whenever she's in jeopardy, she's going to pull through, whereas had they made the Abra character look weak, a vulnerable little girl, it would have made us, the viewers, viewers fear for her safety and question, oh my god, is she actually going to pull through this? The Rebecca Ferguson, Rose the Hat entourage all do amazing jobs, with a standout from the new recruit played by Emily Allen Linnett. Some of the death scenes are very fake CGI, which is again very reminiscent of a TV series template. Now, the makers of this movie were extremely clever in that they seemed to know and totally took on board every possible problem they were going to encounter, in having the audacity to uproot, for the want of a better word, The Shining, adding additional outcomes to the original story, and overall The Shining sequel is a very watchable movie, which I'm pretty sure will tick some of the boxes, at least for the vast majority of The Shining fans, who will be extremely curious about this movie. 7 out of 10.